Some months ago, I was able to purchase this book with the help of your donations. Boss Fight Books presents Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic by Alex Kane. I imagined that I would make videos discussing it if I could, and it seems I can. For obvious reasons, I can't recite the entire book verbatim. Instead, I want to discuss certain things from it, chapter to chapter. If you'd like to purchase the book and read it for yourself, I'll leave a link to their store in the description box below.
For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic. Before the Dark Times. Before the Empire.
We so easily accept what's presented to us as the truth, don't we? Isn't it funny how a memory can feel like a whole different reality? People, places, even sounds and colors can change. Or someone else has changed them.
We begin with the author's note. Right away, it's mentioned that KoTOR contains a twist in the story. A twist so unpredictable at the time that it's the main reason the game is still burned into our memories today. I would have to agree. As far as I know, there weren't any other video games that had a twist quite like that at the time, and it certainly did throw me for a loop when I first played the game. Although my channel features KoTOR 2 content more prominently, I do not dislike the first game in the least, quite the opposite. It's just that the reason we remember KoTOR 2 wasn't due to a single moment, it was an entire character. Turns out, you were once the galaxy's most dreaded warrior, a fallen Jedi twisted by the dark side, later betrayed by your own apprentice in the midst of battle. You were grievously injured, and the Jedi strike team sent to capture you kept you alive using the power of the Force. The Jedi Council then made the bold decision to wipe away your memories and destroy your very identity, in the hopes you could be made an ally again.
I've heard some grim stories about the Dark Jedi interrogation techniques. They say the Force can do terrible things to a mind, can wipe away your memories and destroy your very identity.
Suffice to say, redemption was not Revan's choice, and I have never believed those of the Council who attempt to console themselves otherwise for the crime they committed.
Technically, what we would have to do is forget everything about the sequel. If we only take the first game into account, then you could say that Atris was correct.
You and all the Jedi who followed Revan caused the Jedi Civil War. It was because the need to wage war burned within you. By meeting aggression, by serving as an opponent against which the Mandalorians could test themselves, you fed their hate, their lust for war, and it sent a terrible echo through you. And because of it, you and those Jedi who met them on the battlefield lost their way, and you turned on us.
That due to him fighting in the Mandalorian wars, Revan fell to the dark side, was twisted by it, and for no other reason, waged war against the Republic and the Jedi. However, the bold decision to invade and twist his mind until pliable enough to implant false memories and enslave him, to make him do what they wanted him to do. Like Zeskayel said, Revan didn't change his mind because he wanted to. The Jedi figured they couldn't convince him. They didn't even try. It was too risky.
I was part of the team sent to capture Revan, to capture you. When Malak fired on the ship, you were badly injured. We thought you were dead. Your mind was destroyed, but I used the Force to preserve the flicker of life in your body. I brought you to the Jedi Council. They were the ones who healed your damaged mind.
The Jedi Council didn't restore your wounded mind, Revan. They merely programmed it with a new identity, one loyal to the Republic. They tried to make you their slave.
I wanted to tell you, but the Council forbid it. They were afraid you might return to the dark side if you discovered your real identity.
But now you know the truth, Revan. The Council has failed in their attempt to make you their pawn.
I could not just let you die, Revan, not if it was possible to save you.
Bastila hides the truth behind noble words, Revan. The Jedi needed the memories buried deep in your wounded mind. There was no other way to bring them out. They had to keep you alive.
We couldn't simply restore your true identity. Revan was too dangerous. But locked inside your mind was information the Republic needed, the secrets of the Starforge. The Council created an identity for you, a soldier under my command. Your subconscious memories were supposed to lead me to the Starforge. There was no other way to get the information.
They made you their puppet, Revan. And Bastila was the handler pulling your strings.
If Revan had woken up before they could do their deed, he may have even been able to convince some of them that he was right. He was awfully charismatic.
The day we judged him, I stood in the chamber and he was so right. He was so certain of it, I doubted myself. He chose Revan over the Jedi, over the Council, over...
Have you never asked yourself how Revan took the Republic and Jedi beneath him, how he made them his, to make officers turn on their own people, to bomb innocent worlds, to make pacts? Strong influence indeed.
If he was allowed to speak and started poking holes in Jedi beliefs, holes that the Jedi knew they couldn't plug, and they began to actually question their teachings, then who knows what might have happened. We all know how ill-prepared your average Jedi is for a crisis of faith. Was what the Jedi did bold or a crime? Of course, the answer is both, depending on your point of view. If it is a crime, as Zeskael says, then they have to admit it. Instead of using the dark when it suits you and then pretend like nothing good can ever come from it, admit that the light alone does not hold all the answers. Whether light or dark, there are two aspects of the same force that you worship. We wanted to do a big twist. In Empire Strikes Back, one of the biggest moments is the twist, and we wanted to have a similar moment in Knights of the Old Republic, where the players' expectations are all turned on their head. So we had a big brainstorming session on what the twist could be. It had to be a simple twist. It had to be a twist that was personal. It had to be a twist that would change the galaxy. With Knights of the Old Republic being such a successful game, it seems the idea of a storyline with a twist was something that echoed through the BioWare development team. A little less than 2 years later, they released Jade Empire, another game that featured a twist to the story, along with the first Mass Effect, another 2 years later. Although I suspect that many would say that they were not quite as impactful when compared with Knights of the Old Republic. From there, BioWare gradually moved away from that literary technique. One might say that they didn't want to nurture the reputation of being the M. Night Shyamalan of development studios. That concludes my commentary on the author's notes section of this book. Let me know what you think in the comments and like the video if you think I should make more of these until I finish the entire book. Also, I've been told that I should start saying something along these lines. Don't forget to subscribe.